Victoria Park circuit here in Adelaide. This is going to be pretty epic. Super powerful. We've got some really cool action here. And now here he comes. Listen to this. Welcome to Victoria Park circuit here in Adelaide, just a stone's throw away from the CBD, the traditional home of motorsport in South Australia. It's also the home of the 2025 Repco Adelaide Motorsport Festival, an event which is a living museum of style, sound and speed right here in the heart of South Australia. The Lola Beatrice, 40 years since the first ever lap of the Australian Grand Prix. Over the next hour, we'll take you behind the scenes of the Adelaide Motorsport Festival, including speaking to some of the superstars at the event, including Thierry Boutsen, who won here in 1989, the likes of Craig Lowndes, Damon Hill, and of course, Valtteri Bottas, and many, many more. This is going to be an epic ride, so buckle up and join us as we take you behind the scenes for all the stories, sights, and sounds of this must-see event on the Australian motorsport calendar. So Tim, this is your event. You're in charge. You brought it all together for 2025. There is some epic names and epic cars. What are you most looking forward to this year?
I'm most looking forward to more diversity again. We've made an incredible effort to bring in some of those cars that you never see in the Southern Hemisphere, things like the Shadow Can-Am cars, more Formula One cars that we've freighted in from overseas, things like that Jaguar. For me, that's probably what excites me the most, bringing the unobtainium back to Adelaide, or introducing people to these things that they wouldn't normally see unless they went to an event in the Northern Hemisphere.
Most people would think of Goodwood when it comes to a festival of speed. This is undoubtedly the equivalent of that in the Southern Hemisphere, don't you think?
Well, I think it's certainly got similarities. We've got that rich heritage and history here, so that's what makes it authentic.
Tim, we're about to have the Lola Beatrice come through. 40 years since it's done the first ever lap of the Australian Grand Prix, and now it's back here for the first time on track for the Adelaide Motorsport Festival. How excited are you?
Celebrating this moment, certainly one of the highlights for me about this event. That is the car that first turned a tyre on this tarmac some 40 years ago. Alan Jones, the 1980 Formula One world champion, came out of retirement right here 40 years ago. This moment is, it's a really special one actually.
First of all, welcome to Adelaide, and how are you enjoying the Adelaide event so far?
Thank you, and thanks for having me. So far, very good. It's a very nice event. The weather is good. A lot of nice cars. So what more you want?
There are certainly lots of nice cars and nice cars of days gone by. What's your favourite era of Formula One?
I think my favourite era of Formula One, if I could go back, is the 70s. You know, it's when the car started to get cool, you know, getting the first aerodynamics in it and things like this. I quite like that era, and one of my favorite cars is I think it's the Ferrari T4, which Niki Lauda drove, you know, when he won the championship in the mid-70s. So maybe it was not the safest era of Formula One. It was very dangerous, but maybe that makes it cool.
How do you see the state of the sport today?
I think Formula One is in a fantastic place. It was always, I must say, Formula One was always in a good place. And now the good has become fantastic since about 5-6 years. I mean, since Liberty Media took it over, the sport is expanding. Obviously, it's getting more commercial. We all see that one, and maybe a little bit overregulated by, you know, swearing bans and things like this, you know. So we need to be careful that we are not making a machine out of it, that we still need to keep characters in. But I think Formula One is in a very good spot in the moment.
You're a man who I think is probably known for speaking his mind, and on the back of your book, has that changed the perception of you, do you think?
No, it hasn't changed my life stayed the same. I mean, obviously, more people know me now, but otherwise, I don't change anything, and I don't want to change. It's too late now.
And what was the best thing, I suppose, about being a team owner? And you've put in a lot of work. What do you think's been the most rewarding part of that?
I think the most rewarding part of it is looking back now is I started off with a white sheet of paper, wrote a business plan, found an investor, and started an F1 team. You know, in life, I mean, I like motorsport. I'm doing it almost 40 years now.
We appreciate you making the trip down here to Adelaide, and it's really great to talk to you. Thanks very much for your time.
Thank you, guys, and thanks again for having me.
Up next, it's the great man, Craig Lowndes. Stick around, we'll be back after the break.
Cars. For some, they're just a way to get from A to B. Not at retrorides.com.au. We love classics. We love collectibles. We love performance. We tell their stories. And now you can buy and sell them on Australia's own dedicated classic, collector and performance car marketplace. retrorides.com.au. All your favourite classic, collector and performance rides in one place. Buy, sell and watch your dream car today.
He's a 3-time V8 Supercar champion, a 7-time winner of the great race, the Bathurst 1000, and a fan favourite here. It's the great man, Craig Lowndes. This is such a cool event. I know you love Adelaide, you really do, but to do something a little bit different from a supercar or from a Fink off-road truck and everything else must be really cool for you too.
Oh, it is. And I think that when you get these iconic cars still running around, which is fantastic, but then to have a facility like this or the Adelaide Motorsport Festival to showcase them. And I think that that's what all the people out the front there are really admiring. Just the cars still running around, people love it, and we get enjoyed to drive them.
You're a rev head at heart, obviously. We know that. What else have you sort of spied around that you're excited to see?
I'm more excited, to be honest, about the motorbikes. I love the motorbikes. I think it's a great inclusion to have the two-wheelers here. It's just nice to see a mix of the two, because even at a supercar round, when we've got super bikes, it's always a good combination. So to have the bikes part of this festival again is really exciting.
And we also have supercar drivers and real race car drivers all around the world. Yeah, they love on-track stuff, but they get real passionate about their off-track stuff as well, don't they?
Oh, absolutely. And I think that, again, this facility and event has just got a great mix of everything. And as you mentioned, like the hypercars, which I'm driving one of them later on as well, you just get to experience everything and anything growing up. Like I grew up watching these cars. It's great to be back. It's great to utilise this sort of parkland area for this festival. And to have cars like this here. Also some old Formula Ones, which I'm driving a Megatron Arrows car. It's an 84 Eddie Cheever car as well. I drove it here last year. It's nice to showcase these cars in this environment. I think the people over the weekend will get a lot of enjoyment seeing the cars. To have an experience of driving them, and just to walk around and see what's around, in marquees and on display, all the old supercars.
Well, mate, we'll let you get back to it. We'll probably catch up with you tomorrow. Thank you so much.
No problem. Thank you.
Valtteri Bottas, a name familiar to so many in Australian motorsport, and not only because he's a 10-time Grand Prix winner, but because he is now an adopted Aussie.
Great to be back and nice to be home again here in South Australia.
The 35-year-old from Finland holds a special place in his heart for South Australia, thanks to his relationship with champion cyclist and Australian Olympian Tiffany Cromwell. Bottas, who is no stranger to the Adelaide Motorsport Festival, has returned in 2025, fresh from competing in the Race of Champions. Now back with the Mercedes-AMG Petronas Formula One team as their third driver, it made absolute sense to introduce him to this stunning DTM Mercedes-Benz 190E.
Bit of an early start today, but definitely worth it. And I managed to already get on track, enjoy, and to see you all, which is great.
Originally prepared by RSM Marco, 2 of these DTM spec Mercedes 190Es were sent to Australia and raced across a variety of categories and events, including the Australian Touring Car Championship, Super Touring Championship, the Bathurst 1000, and here in Adelaide. This car has been restored and is run by its former driver, Australian motorsport legend and former teammate to Peter Brock, Andrew Medicki. It sports the same livery and the same engine specification in which it appeared at the 1986 Bathurst 1000 meeting, where it was driven by Miedeke and Formula One world champion Denny Hume. Asked on what it was like to get behind the wheel of this epic car, Valtteri remarked on just how special it was to get into another piece of Australian automotive history, especially this Mercedes, which he very much enjoyed driving around in front of the fans. Now let's go to Bathurst legend Stephen Richards. Hey, g'day, Steve. How you doing? Yeah. Nice to see you. We're going to chat a little bit later on as well, but I thought we'd pick up here in terms of what is going on. This is a very cool-looking car, isn't it?
Yes, and like all of the cars here this weekend, it's got quite a unique history. It actually was brought into the country by Alan Hamilton, who recently passed away. Yep. And it was to be used for Alfredo Costanzo's Formula 2 campaign in about 1982. The chassis wasn't quite up to the standard of their old chassis, so they on-sold it to a gentleman here in Adelaide. He put a Repco Brabham V8 in it and did a lot of hill climbs over the next sort of 15 to 20 years. Quite a special thing. Very special thing, and a very special event to be part of. What else are you looking forward to for this weekend? Obviously, the array of different types of cars here and their history, you know, not only history of motorsport in Australia, but, you know, the history of the event here at Adelaide with Formula One going back to 85, you know, Group C sports cars, things that a lot of people just have never seen, but on a global world scale are just incredible. Some special cars of yours here as well this weekend. I bet you're looking forward to that. Yeah, I am. I'm also driving my dad Jim's Nissan Skyline from 1990, the two-wheel drive version, and that's a special car to our family, being the car that basically won him the 1990 Touring Car Championship. So your family as well. Speaking of which, I mean, young bloke did very well in Porsches last year as well. That must be exciting to see the next generation, and of course, his daughter Priya as well is doing lots of things in motorsport media too. Yeah, absolutely. No, the kids are going great. Clay 86 is not Porsches, but the Toyota 86 series. That's been really good to him. He's done Formula Ford, and with a bit of luck, we'll move on to do something else this year as well. Maybe I'm thinking in the future of Porsches rather than 86s. Steve, see you later on. Coming up next, it's Stefan Johansson. Stick around, we'll be back after the break. A man who's competed in 103 Grand Prix, won the prestigious 24 Hours of Le Mans, and someone who loves this great city, it's Stefan Johansson.
Please put your hands together for David Brabham and Stefan Johansson! Gentlemen, this is an absolute honour. This kind of conversation is something that is extra special because we're celebrating 40 years since the first Adelaide Grand Prix here. Stefan, you were there, you were racing. Take us back to that time, please, sir. It's so iconic.
No one expected or knew what to expect when we came here, because it was the first race, of course, in Australia and Adelaide, but it was a more than pleasant surprise for everybody. The energy in the town was just incredible, and the race itself was fantastic. The racetrack is really good, demanding, difficult, but a really good race, yeah.
And please, talk us through some of those challenges.
Yeah, I mean, every street circuit, by definition, is always a bit more difficult, demanding. There's no room for error. And, so you got to be really precise and make no mistakes, basically, so that, for me, makes it much more interesting, of course.
And then you come back in 86 and put it on the podium, so you must be doing something right around here.
Just luck.
No, it
Pure
wasn't. Absolutely not. Talk us through 86.
86 wasn't as good year for Ferrari in general as 85 was. The car wasn't that great, really, but it was, from the beginning of practice, just try to focus on the race setup and get as good a race setup as possible, because qualifying wasn't that important then. And I, remember just doing a couple of slow runs on one set of tires that would then last the whole race, just to give it a little heat cycle every session, just to make them cure a little bit. Maybe 0.2 a lap slower overall, but they did last the whole distance, and that's really what got us to third place in the end. It wasn't speed.
It wasn't speed. It was all you, sir.
What's that?
It's all you.
No, it's not me. Me and the engineers, more the engineers.
And Stefan, you're obviously driving in some demonstration laps this weekend.
Tomorrow I will be in the Master Le Mans car.
Yeah, the 767B.
In one session at least, yeah.
Yes, yeah.
So they get reacquainted to that one.
Yes, and talk us through that, because it's an absolute monster. Just to listen to the sound of that is incredible. I had the honour of interviewing the owner last year, and I purposely made him recreate the sound because it's so iconic. Talk us through your memories of that one.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't driven the car since I've crossed the finish line in Le Mans in 1991, whatever it was, But amazing engine. I mean, the car period was very good. Very nice, well-balanced, easy car to drive, but the engine was extraordinary. So it's 11,000 RPM, but it's really 33,000 because there's three ignitions per rotation.
Wow.
So that's why you get that super high-pitched sound, The exhaust, it's like insanely loud, and high pitch.
Can we please talk about the Formula 2 race here, David Brabham? It's quite the story.
I mean, it's definitely, when I look back, it's a race that taught me a lot about myself more than anything. The main story was I had a massive bust-up with my father. Just before the race, we hadn't been talking for 3 months, was I had to tell him my girlfriend was pregnant. And for him, that was like, no, you don't have family as a racing driver. So he could see I was doing quite well, and he thought, right, he's going to go to Europe, he's the one going to get to Formula 1, and all of a sudden I go, oh, I got a baby on tow. We didn't speak for 3 months, and then I was trying to bridge the gap after qualifying, and he had his sort of that stern look on his face. My mum was there, and he had a Formula 1 pass, and I said, oh, you better get me one of those for when I'm in Formula 1, and I didn't know what to say to him because we weren't talking, so it just came out. And he just looked at me and said, the days of you ever going to Formula 1 are finished. And that was it. I fired right back at him, and I said, I'm not accepting that, and I told him to F off. And I stormed off. I put my John Farnham tape on, listened to John Farnham, and I was like, on the limiter when I got in the car. And I grabbed the mechanic and I said, you go down there and tell those guys in front of me I'm coming through, they better get out of the way, which I would never have done. You know what I mean? You just don't. I was in a completely different mindset because the determination and the anger and everything was so heightened. Even when was sitting in the car and all I had sight was, I'm winning this race, get out of my way, So I went from 38th to 17th on lap 1, lap 2 I'm in the top 10. And I got in the lead with a lap to go and won the race. It was one of those times in your life where you look back and go, well, I finished the race and I went, how the hell did I do that? And it just took me mentally to a whole new place I didn't know existed. So really it was a gift. It was a fantastic gift my dad gave me because I learned a lot about the mentality to racing and performing at a kind of high level and the kind of mood in particular you have to be in when you put the helmet on, and I carried that all the way through my career. So, funny enough, he started talking to me after that.
Well, thank you both so much for your time. We are just thrilled to have you here both for another year. You guys are such massive advocates for this event, and it's truly an honour. Everyone, please put your hands together one more time. David Brabham and Stefan Johansson.
So we're doing Repco Circuit Safari as the Repco Slam truck and Tirana try to take us out as we go down Wakefield. G'day, mate. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. You're on the bus. You're in prime position. You got a window seat. You were lucky enough. I'm sadly stuck in the aisle. How have you found it so far?
Very good. Very good. I wouldn't have expected to feel the cars go past so much.
Let's see if we feel the bus shake. Here he goes again. The fact that we actually get on the circuit is pretty cool. We've got the VIP suites here, which is one thing. There's Gunther Steiner, who is looking at you very enviously because you get to be on the bus.
Yeah, it's definitely a step up from VIP.
The bus has been properly put through the centre chicane as well, which is what you want in a Toyota minibus, that's for sure. We've got Mazda RX-8 out there, so those of rotary persuasion will be happy enough to see that. We've got some epic NASCARs, the roars of massive V8s, and the Repco truck, I think we're all just kind of keeping an eye out for, because, not my words, but has been described by the driver of this bus as crazy, and he will be coming around again to see how close he can get. This might be an opportunity for access to the wing mirror of this bus. Let's see just how close he gets. Well, that was Repco Circuit Safari in the trusty minibus, and I tell you what, that was really, really cool. We got really close action from pretty cool cars. We had the Repco truck, of course, who was so close, this whole bus shook. So if you do Adelaide Motorsport Festival, this is absolutely a must-do activity if you can get yourself a ticket. We're here in the VIP suite. Mate, how have you found it so far?
Absolutely amazing. Absolutely fantastic. Having been on the track and now being able to be up here, this is definitely the place for the view. A wonderful place to be. Smelling fumes, burning rubber.
More cars, more participants. We've also got a lot more international people that have come in, and everybody is loving it.
But ultimately, we're here to see cars on track, and there's less than a minute or two between every session. So at any point you walk to the track and you're seeing an iconic race car from your favourite era, whatever that might be.
I have a big soft spot for the Brabham. There it goes now.
We've got guests from the United States, the UK, from China, from Southeast Asia, and they're here to enjoy the festival.
We don't see these cars on the street very often, so it's wonderful to see them all gathered together. It is wonderful to see the calibre of these vehicles here today. Yeah.
Vern Chupin, it's so great to see you. Thank you for being here. We've spoken at length to many people about your importance in bringing Grand Prix to Adelaide, but I'd love to talk about you and your driving career. There's something pretty significant behind you as well.
This is a car that I was supposed to drive at Indy in 1980. It was Tom Sneever's spare car. This was honestly the best car I'd ever driven around the speedway. The car developed this nickname of Old Hound, so that stuck to this car.
It's an incredible career that you've had. Is it possible to pull out one favourite moment from your career to date?
The one that stands out most is winning Le Mans. I had two co-drivers, Hurley Haywood and Alan Holbert, and I talked to them before the race and I said, look, we should drive flat out in this race, which the team don't let you do because of fuel consumption. I sort of developed this technique of lifting off the pedal early at the end of the straight and letting the car go a lot further in. I did that all the way around the track and managed to save quite a bit of fuel. I had a door come off the car on the Mulsanne straight. We were looking at it on the screen. I said, the car's smoking, you know, seized up going over the start-finish line. You know, 1 minute we've won the race, oh no, we might not even finish. That's probably the one that stands out more than any other.
That is an incredible story and an incredible journey that you've had through motorsport. Vern, thank you so much for your time. And of course, thank you on behalf of Adelaide for bringing the Grand Prix here originally in 1985. Well done.
No, I appreciate it. Thanks.
The 2024 British Touring Car Champion Jake Hill joins us next, talking all things BTCC and what it's like driving at the Goodwood Festival of Speed and here at the Adelaide Motorsport Festival. The 2024 British Touring Car Champion Jake Hill joins us talking all things BTCC and what it's like driving at the Goodwood Festival of Speed and here at the Adelaide Motorsport Festival. Welcome back. I am here with 2024 British Touring Car Champion Jake Hill. Jake, g'day mate. Welcome to Adelaide.
Thank you very much. It's a real pleasure to be here. I mean, it's a bit toasty, but I'm absolutely loving it.
You do look a bit hot and sweaty in that race suit. You're going to get hot and sweaty a little bit later on as well because you're going to be driving this Can-Am. What's it like to be here driving this machine?
Do you know what? It's really special. I mean, it's firstly, you know, it's a big deal to get these cars halfway across the world. You know, I mean, at the moment these cars currently live in the UK because we've done a lot of the Goodwood events with them last year. So they were all prepped by Era Motorsport, the team in the UK, looked after and then shipped over here for this event. So it's a big deal for everyone, you know, to get them here. And you know, I'm just glad everyone can see them and see just how crazy and cool they are.
Victoria Park Circuit, which is where we are here in Adelaide, is not as tight. It certainly has a lot more room. You've already been out there already this morning. What's it like driving around the circuit?
It's really cool, you know, I mean, I've watched it on TV so much from, you know, the early F1 days when it was here and obviously Supercars, you know, I'm a big Supercars fan, being a touring car boy myself, so, you know, I love watching it and it's a thrill to be here, you know, it really is. All the people are so nice, Adelaide as a city is beautiful. Yeah, I want to move here, mate.
I don't blame you. A quick word on your championship victory last year. You've worked incredibly hard to get that. The feeling must be now energising for this year's campaign.
It's just, you know, when you've worked your whole life to try and win the British Touring Car Championship, you know, it's been a 15-year ordeal. I've been in the series now for 8 years and won it finally, you know, last year. So, you know, it's a big commitment, but yeah, to finally get it over the line and get that championship win for MB Motorsport and BMW, you know, it was a real honour.
This is Jake Hill. Thank you to you, mate, who will be driving this epic Can-Am here at the Adelaide Motorsport Festival for 2025. And there's plenty more action to come, so stick around.
How are you enjoying the Adelaide event, Cam?
Yeah, absolutely loving it. First time here. I've heard about the event. Almost got here last year, but to finally get here and see what it's about, it's brilliant, is what it is.
There's a lot of people here on the ground today. Are you surprised by the crowd numbers?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, perfect conditions for it. I've been blessed with this sunshine, but I live and breathe bikes. I love all forms of motorsport, and so does the crowd. Just sharing that with so many people, it really is brilliant.
You've been off the bike competitively since about 2016. What does, you know, motorsport look like for you?
You know, I'm riding the National Roaring Sporties Harley Championship this year just to scratch the itch, keep the iron, I guess. But, you know, I still ride dirt bikes a lot. I ride all forms of bikes, and so do my two daughters, so does my wife. So, you know, the whole family.
And this bike, Irving Vincent 888, what's the story?
Yeah, this actual machine here is 1600cc, and this is the bike that Craig McMartin, a very successful Aussie rider, took over to Daytona with the boys, and they won Battle of the Twins there. And, of course, all built here, homegrown in Australia, home built. And then for that bike to achieve what it did over in the States is quite incredible. And, yeah, lucky enough to do some parade laps on it this weekend.
What's the best thing about being on this bike?
Oh, look, 1600cc V-twin, it's a monster. I mean, the amount of power, this thing would pull tree stumps out of the ground. It's got so much grunt. And honestly, I mean, I'm struggling not to smile just talking about it. It really is a lot of fun. These bikes are so visceral. They're feeling the vibration, the acceleration, everything about them is, yeah, really special.
We look forward to seeing you out there and carving it up.
No, thanks very much. Great to be here and hope to see more people in years to come because it looks like it's just going from strength to strength.
Yes, plenty more action. In fact, this action just might be the best way to kick off a motorsport festival. The Gunther Street Party, one of the most loved parts of the Adelaide Motorsport Festival, and for good reason. This event takes some of the best on show from the Victoria Park circuit and brings the CBD alive with the sounds and sights of old school motorsport. The perfect way of warming up to the Motorsport Festival weekend. It also offers the best chance for fans to get up close and personal with the cars, both as they drive to and from the party, but also when they are parked up. Plenty of budding motorsport photographers were able to cut their teeth in some brilliant photos of cars like the Shadow Can-Am Mark 1, driven by our friend Jake Hill. The street party really has something for everyone, and for 2026, you better not miss it. Coming up next, Damon Hill, David Brabham and Thierry Boutsen. Stick around, we'll be back after the break. Three legends of Formula One racing join us: Damon Hill, David Brabham and Thierry Boutsen. Damon Hill, welcome back to Adelaide. Mate, how was that?
Yeah, it was fantastic. It's brutal driving a Formula One car. Same story, Benetton won, I think.
Mate, it was fantastic to see you back out on track again. What were the nerves like getting in the car for the first time? We saw you sitting quietly before you ran out.
Not really any nerves, just getting hot, trying to get going. But of course, you don't need to be doing much in these cars. They generate quite a lot of grip, even these old ones.
And finally, you're out there with Thierry and also with the Brabham, of course.
Yeah, it's great, isn't it, to see the old guys coming out, especially with the Brabham as well. It's a great brand name. It's obviously a very important Australian name, but I'm afraid I finished the team off because that was the last time I got out of that car was in Hungary in '92, and they never raced again.
Well, Damon, thank you so much, mate. It's so good to see you. I'm here with Thierry Boutsen, who's just jumped out of the car after a very long time since being here. How did you feel, mate? Was it lovely to be back in the car?
It is very nice to be back here in Adelaide. It is very nice to be back in the car and to refresh all these memories of winning here in 1989. I really enjoyed doing a few laps now, very, very, very much.
What was the clearest memory in your mind after circling the circuit?
Well, first of all, to find out, I had a little bit forgotten about the distances between the corners and all that, but after one lap it was back to normal. So all the parts that we used on the racetrack before were like if it was yesterday for me.
Mate, it's so lovely to see you out there, and I bet you cannot wipe the smile off of your face.
No, sure. It's nice to see this and see the amount of people here, and I must say the organization is just fantastic. It's putting a great event together like this. It's not that easy. Congratulations to the organizers, the whole group of people who made it possible, and to the media who are promoting it as well. So very, very nice. Very nice to be here, and I really enjoy every minute of it.
Great. It's great to have you here, mate. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
I'm going to sneak in with David Brabham. Hello, mate. How you doing?
Good.
Great. Yeah, I'm very good. Sorry to surprise you here. We're just having a look up and down. There are lots of cars that bear your last name here. I know you're driving this weekend. How are you feeling about being back at the Adelaide Motorsport Festival for 2025?
Well, I just love coming back to Adelaide. I love coming back to the festival. Tim Possingham and all the guys in the team do a fantastic job. I mean, you just have to look at these amazing cars. They've come from all over the world for here, and this event just keeps getting bigger and bigger. And, I get a chance to come in and drive a couple of Formula One cars, one that I raced here in 1990.
Your motorsport royalty, the family name, but not only your dad and you, but also Sam, who's been doing some incredible stuff as well. And he did some GT racing here last year as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's great. Great to see Sam. He took a leap of faith, I guess, to come to Australia. Really proud of what he's been able to do and achieve. And, like Matthew, the three generations, continuing the family tradition and family name in motorsport. It's just wonderful to have had the opportunity to even be involved in motorsport, let alone the whole family and the impact that the family success has had on the sport here in Australia and globally as well.
You're joining some of the other big stars this weekend on track for an F1 demonstration with Damon and a few others, Stefan, I think, as well, and Thierry. That's going to be pretty special.
Yeah, great. I mean, obviously, I'm very much looking forward to being on track with those guys, yeah.
Thank you very much. That's David Brabham. Coming up next, motorbikes galore. Stick around, we'll be back after the break.
Cars. For some, they're just a way to get from A to B. Not at retrorides.com.au. We love classics. We love collectibles. We love performance. We tell their stories. And now you can buy and sell them on Australia's own dedicated classic, collector and performance car marketplace. retrorides.com.au. All your favourite classic, collector and performance rides in one place. Buy, sell and watch your dream car today.
There's something here for everyone, including fans of two wheels. Motorbikes galore.
G'day and welcome to the motorcycle section of the Adelaide Motorsport Festival. I'm Mark Brax, the commentator for the bikes, and we've got a quick chance to have a wander through and have a look at some of the bikes and some of the personalities that make up this unique event that are really embracing the motorcycles. First up here, we've got a real GP heritage motorcycle. It's the Aprilia CRT machine from 2012. This thing's a 1000cc V4, and it was the catalyst for Aprilia to get back into the MotoGP scene with number 41 on the fairing. He just retired from MotoGP last year, Alicia Spargo. One of 12 bikes owned by Tom Dermody on this particular weekend. 4-stroke, and then we move on to another one from 1989, going back 30 odd years. Raced by Tadahiko Taira at the 1989 Australia Motorcycle Grand Prix, the first Grand Prix that was won by Wayne Gardner. Japanese rider rode this. This is a YZR 500cc machine. 2 strokes, V4 again, but completely different sounding. This was the era that was, they say, men were meant to ride these things, and they certainly were. Same as the bike beside that one, number 88, is another YZR 500, raced by Kevin McGee in the 1990 Japanese All Japan Championship, where he finished second to Daryl Beattie. And what we got in here is another one, a 500cc Suzuki. Mate, your magnificent collection of motorcycles is just unbelievable, and so good to see you bring so many down here. It must be pretty good to see them all out on track.
Yeah, it's brilliant to see them out on track. You know, they sit in the shed all year, don't do much, so to come to this event is pretty special for us to be able to get our bikes out and run them and show them to the public. So there are some of them pretty iconic bikes from the past, so it's just lovely to have them out.
Now, just one question. Like a dad, which one's your favourite? Although, like a dad, you don't have any favourites.
No, they're all kind of favourites. I suppose the one behind you there, the XR69, that's really the favourite because we raced that at the Island Classic for 10 years. And eventually Diego Johnson, the local Adelaide man, won the Island Classic on that bike. So it's a pretty special bike, really. So the rest of them are special, but that one is probably the one closest to my house anyway.
This one here, a Honda RC30, running the Le Mans 24-hour race and the Paul Ricard 24-hour race. We could talk about these bikes for hours. Isle of Man regular, Brian McCormick, big bloke, can muscle a bike around a 37-mile, 60-kilometre Isle of Man track. Now he's here at a 1.5-kilometre track. A little bit different to what you used to, Brian.
A little bit different, and a little bit different motorcycles too. I'm used to production bikes and used to put on production bikes all my life, really, and to get to ride Grand Prix bikes and some really special stuff is a dream come true, yeah.
And what do you think of this event?
Yeah, it's mega. The crowd yesterday and the event that's put on, it's amazing, and we need more of this around Europe as well. They really put on a really good show over here, and it's impressive to see. It's impressive to see the amount of cars that are here, the amount of bikes that show up, and in fairness to Tom, he's got a big collection here as well, but you don't get this in too many places, and it's a really good festival.
And I hope you're coming back, that's for sure.
Oh yeah, look, I have an itch for it now, and I love the people, I love the place, so I'll definitely love to come back, yeah.
This is an Australian engineering masterpiece, the Irving Vincent, in honour of Phil Irving, who developed the Vincent motorcycle way back in the 40s. These things, 1600cc V-twin, 2 valves, got the most unique sound on them. They've had success at Daytona. They're going over to America again this year. Bo Beaton rides this one. That one over there that the owner, Kenny Horner's fixing at the moment, ridden by another Isle of Man legend, Cameron Donald, who'll be out there on track again soon. The history in this place is absolutely unbelievable. This is a Casey Steiner replica Ducati Desma Sedici, very similar to the one he won the 2007 MotoGP World Championship on. Another brilliant bike, owned by Adelaide man, Andre Bosman. And this one, going back to the 1980s, run by Michael Dunlop, Trevor Nation, the Norton Rotary. Supposedly about a 600cc, but it's a rotary engine machine made famous by Steve Hislop, who actually won a TT on a very similar machine to that. So the history lesson continues. They're the smallest bike in the field, owned by local guy David Johnson, the Yamaha TZ125. So we got from 125 to 1000cc machines. Well, we moved from the Norton onto the Crichton. Brian Crichton designed the Norton JPS machines, and he's also designed this machine as well. And there's only been a handful of them built. This is the only one in Australia, the Crichton. A bit bigger, a bit more advanced than what the old Norton is. But then we go into something like the RC30, another one, owned by the Dodrills. Then onto another Ducati 888 that goes harking back to the days of the first World Superbike rounds, where the 888s were the incarnation after the 851 that started the Superbike World Championships. Hope you enjoyed a little bit of brief about the motorcycling here at the Adelaide Motorsport Festival, and hopefully we'll be back for many more years to come.
Well, it's time to let the engines cool down here at the 2025 Repco Adelaide Motorsport Festival. To all of the fans who turned out to watch this in person, a massive thank you to you, and of course, a huge thank you to our drivers and our teams, sponsors and partners, without whom we couldn't put this event together. And of course, thank you for watching at home. We hope that this has inspired you to come along in 2026. From the Victoria Park circuit just outside the CBD of Adelaide, my name is James Baldwin. A massive thank you for watching. It's bye for now.